Hello everybody, welcome once again to Sack Time. Today we're going to be playing Kid Icarus on the original NES. And this is a game of, I don't know, somewhat hot debate in terms of actual quality. It's tremendously difficult, but it's doable. I think more than anything it comes down to patience and planning, which we'll get into shortly. But a fantastic game created by Gunpei Yokoi of Nintendo, the late inventor of franchises like Metroid, the creator of the Game Boy, the Wonder Swan, Virtual Boy, things like that. Very important fellow in Nintendo's history. This game, however, came out in the mid-'80s, right around the same time as the Nintendo launch in North America, very close to. And it's regarded as being notoriously difficult. And while it's not an easy game, it's very doable. You are Pit. Oh, as per usual, let's go ahead and adjust my controller here. Okay, B-U-R-A, as always. We're gonna be playing on the gamepad clearly, and this is Pit of Kid Icarus fame. He runs and jumps, or he walks at a somewhat moderate pace, kind of meandering into the mouths of snakes. The game has a couple different styles, three basic styles of gameplay levels. The first you see right here is the standard, somewhat unforgiving difficulty, in that you just ascend the entire time. You play for it's the equivalent of maybe like 20 or 30 game screens upwards, and if you fall off the screen at the bottom, you're dead. That's it. I'm finished. Okay, so Pit will die, clearly, give you a sacred words password, which I hate more than anything. And then you try again from scratch. Every time you beat a level, though, you get to restart from that level with anything you've done. So the end of each level is truly like a genuine checkpoint. You get unlimited continues, which is very, very nice. You'll find hearts through the game, which are a form of currency. You get small hearts, medium hearts, large hearts, and you can use them to buy things. It's also very good in this game to farm enemies because they're not experience exactly, but you're going to want to save up as many hearts as possible, which is a general strategy. I guess this is less of like an impression video review and more just a mini guide. The screen also wraps, so kind of a fun little element. But yeah, you're going to want to spam killing as many enemies as possible while you play, as when you get to the end of a level and you have a high score, which is calculated from killing all these enemies, you can actually get life bar upgrades very quickly, which are pretty mandatory later in the game. The more kills you have, you also open up certain options as you come in contact with secret rooms, which I think actually I might have missed one on the other side from the screen wrap. That's okay, we'll fight the Grim Reaper. But as I was saying, you're going to want to kill things often. It's extremely important to remember that killing stuff in this game will reap benefits, Reaper benefits, and a little bit of planning. While the game is definitely hard and difficult, there's a couple things to keep in mind. That the Grim Reaper's right there, he can't see me beyond the wall. You're going to come across upgrades for your weapons later. Some that'll let you shoot your weapon for longer. Some that will allow your they'll give you let the Reaper just see me because I was distracted by talking about her beautiful body. When she brings the Reapets down, you can kill them for experience. Well, not experience proper, but an experience of sorts. Anyway, you'll find these upgrades that are pretty much essential: longer shots, more powerful shots, shots with fireballs that surround you, things of the sort. And you find these little stupid imps. They look like little goblins with beards, and if they touch you, they'll steal your upgrades. And if that happens, I'm just going to say right now, I'd recommend just killing yourself and starting the level over, because the value of the upgrades that you get is paramount to your success in this game. So make sure to keep those on you and restart if you need to, because it's going to be way worth it instead of having to try to re-upgrade your weapons later. Anyway, so there's a couple different types of levels in Kid Icarus. This one revolves around me getting seen by as many Reapers as possible, clearly. And we've got the vertical scrolling levels. You have side-scrolling levels, which are not very common, but they're kind of cool. And then you have these maze levels, which are kind of like Zelda-style dungeons, except for all side-scrolling. You can find a map, or rather buy a map and a pencil to make check marks on the ground to let you know where you are in the dungeon. And since we didn't really like farm enemies, I don't think we're gonna get the upgrade. And they're basically the boss levels of each game. We'll play for a little bit and see if we can actually get to one. This game is kind of hard. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get there very swiftly, so we'll try this out. But there's 4 worlds in all, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's only 3 worlds. I can't remember. Last time I played through was on the 3D Classics for the Game Boy, or the Game Boy 3D, the 3DS Classic game that was released right around the time of Uprising. All right, here's another secret door. My thoughts get jumbled and I get excited when I'm talking about these games, and this is absolutely a worthwhile playthrough, I think, especially for $5. It's difficult, it's not too bad, but it's a satisfying game with some really great music, some really fun enemies. You get stuff like these weird noses. There's mono eyes. There's the Reapers. There's huge raw. And if you've only gone through Uprising on the 3DS and for some reason didn't grab the Virtual Console Classic 3D, I'd recommend this one. And you can just watch me die. I'm not going to play through the whole thing because I'm getting reckless and not paying attention. Sacred Words. Because of the features of the sort of the save game, either creating restore point or the fact that the Virtual Console can suspend your game, you're not going to have too much of a problem playing through this if you're patient enough. But these passwords were absolutely awful, and while you could do like some kind of cool things with them, start at the beginning of the game with max upgrades and stuff, I don't believe that it's worth it because writing them down. I'm a very giant advocate against these kinds of passwords. I've always hated them, and I wish they were dead, and right in front of me that are not. They're still very much alive, and I'm very mad about it. All in all, Kid Icarus. Great game. A lot of fun. Chicks love it. I've yet to meet a single female who doesn't like this game, and that includes blind women, women with no nerve endings, babies, like baby girls, female dogs, female bison, all of them. So like it's really great. And if you're looking to meet a girl, I'd play Kid Icarus, and you'll impress chicks like crazy. It's really weird, but no. Go ahead and try this game out. $5, $5 measly dollars, $5 American dollars. I don't know what the Canadian prices are or how many pounds this might be. And experience a very classic style of NES game. I don't really get into certain NES classics. Stuff like Donkey Kong is 30 cents, so I picked it up. And I actually have yet to do the video on that. My apologies. Donkey Kong, Mario Brothers. There's a lot of arcadey style classics, but this actually does fall into the category of like a more solid, fleshed out NES title. Several levels. A little bit more coordination. Just in that you've got platforming and level design that's a little bit more concise and a little more tightly wrapped than some other games. So save up some hearts and go pick up a feather, which means you can fall off the bottom of the screen once and then it's gone. And there it is. Ladies and gentlemen, Kid Icarus for the NES. This has been a sack time, a somewhat successful sack time. Oh yeah, check this out. I've always thought that was weird and creepy because he still makes footprint noises. Alright, there it is. I'm finished.